Welcome to this special discussion about the 2025 Arcadi Mainframe Navigator and the Arcadi Mainframe User Survey. I am here with Mark Wilson. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So if you don't know Mark, he is a recognized expert with over 40 years experience in mainframe and a security expert on top of that. So I'm excited especially to talk to him today because some of the outcomes of our report reported that there is a lot of concern about security in the mainframe. And let's just jump in if that's all right.
Yeah, it's fine by me.
Okay, great. So as I mentioned, security is a top concern. It's highlighted, and I think what was surprising to me is there's a lot of anecdotal conversation about how secure the mainframe is, but yet it ranked as a very high point of concern for the people that filled out our survey. So tell me your thoughts on that, and let's talk then a little bit about security.
So I think the problem with the mainframe, it was almost a victim of its own success. Locked at the back of the data center, nobody knew it. Yeah, black box solution. But as times have changed and evolved, it's come more and more to the forefront. It's more and more interconnected. We've got more and more APIs and interfaces to it than we've ever had. And what I started saying a number of years ago, it's the most securable platform. It's secure by design. Hardware's designed to be secure. The software's designed to be secure. But you still have to do the work to secure it. So it's the most securable platform. I think what people are realizing is we probably haven't been securing it that well for a number of years, and that's the times are changing now, and we'll get into that, I think, as we go through this.
I think that's an excellent point. One of the trends that we see is hybrid IT environments are the norm, and they're only going to increase, and that does create a lot of gateways.
It does, and you know, when we start talking to clients about sort of mainframe security, one of our questions is your mainframe connected to an externally facing service? Yeah, does it have a public facing website? And 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, no, it's not. Yeah, but you see that server over there that it's actually connected to, that's connected to the outside world, so your mainframe is connected to the outside world. And then you see the kind of the change, and oh, we hadn't thought about it like that, because yeah, the bad actors, the threat actors, they don't worry about how they get to the mainframe. And if that means they've got to go via a couple of Windows servers or a couple of other servers to get to it, they will, because they know today where the good stuff is. Mm-hmm. And the good stuff's on the mainframe.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like one of them, but what are the most common problems you're seeing with people securing their mainframes?
Without wanting to sound arrogant, they think it's their mainframe, nobody's going to ever touch it. And some of the conversations we have with people, it's, Fred over there cannot do this, and Mark can't do this, and Amanda can't do this. And we quite often say to them, can you do it? And they go, well, of course I'm the systems programmer. Well, yeah, but what if I was you? And then you see the look on the face change, because social engineering and just simple phishing exercises to get credentials, it's easy. Yeah.
I know there are a lot of tools out there that modernize the mainframe in a way to help people that are new to mainframe use the mainframe. They change the interfaces, they make it a more user-friendly experience. Do those create vulnerabilities?
They can create vulnerabilities if they're not designed and secured properly. I mean, when we got open mainframe, USS as we now call it, all those years ago, the first few iterations of the tooling we got were just not secure at all. It's not like that anymore. But when you start looking at the whole ecosystem wrapped around a mainframe now, you've got to think about that. Don't just secure your mainframe tools, secure all the tools that are connecting to the mainframe. Are they fetching and carrying data? Is that data encrypted? Okay. Well, I've got somebody working on their Windows laptop via a browser, 4,000 miles away from where the data center is. Yeah, have we actually secured that connection, or is all of our data just flying around the ether in the clear? So they can be, But you've got to check and make certain you've installed it correctly, you've configured it correctly, and test it. Yeah, get somebody who's got a mindset for being a pen tester, and get them to test it. Say, see what you can find, and you'll be surprised.
Is it primarily bad actors or accidental?
So, I'd classify three. I think it's the bad actor, it's the good actor pretending to be a bad actor. That's what that's what the pen testers do. And then there is the accident there. And when you're working on a mainframe, it's a very interactive response system. There isn't a pop-up box that says, "Do you want to do this?" You type in a command and press enter, it's done. And if you typed in the wrong command and it's just wrong, then bad things can happen. And how do you stop that happening? You can do that with your preventative controls. Yeah.
So you've worked a lot on disaster recovery planning. We're seeing that companies prioritizing disaster recovery, but maybe not as much as they should. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you look at all the large mainframe sites around the world, and even the small and medium ones. We've been doing DR for years, but is it really a DR test? Yeah. And what I mean by that is, we as the team, we will publish. If I was the DR team at Acme Inc., and I'm going to schedule a DR test for the weekend, I would send out an email to everybody. On Saturday, we're going to shut the system down. Can you make sure you're all logged off? Can you make sure all your batch jobs are finished? It's not really a DR test.
No, that's advanced warning.
Yeah, but that's what people do. And what you really need to be doing is walking into the data center, and in a coordinated test, somebody needs to pull a cable out the mainframe, somebody needs to turn the tape, your virtual tape system off, or somebody needs to turn off one of your disk controllers. Yeah, so turn off the DS8K, turn off the TS7770, and pull out a couple of Ficon cables. Now see how the system reacts and recovers. How many people do that on their real live running production systems? Not many.
And try doing it on Tuesday at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. So do we do DR testing? Yes. Is it a valuable exercise? It proves I can bring the system up in the second location. Would it really be useful in a true disaster? Probably not. But roll forward to 2024, 2025, and we start talking about cyber resiliency. And you look at what the folks at IBM have done with the DS8K and GDPS, and Dell with their hardware solutions and their GDDR. Yep. You're now getting to a point where you can have multi-site replication. I mean, I was in a session earlier this week, and the IBM designers are saying they're going to have a 6-way GDPS solution.
Oh, wow.
So you can have 6 copies of the data, all kept in sync. And you think, wow. Yeah, because this client they've been working with wants 2 copies of the data all the time. So they've got the primary, 2 targets in location A, replicate to location B, primary and 2 targets. So you've got 6 versions of the data, just to make sure they don't get any data loss. Yeah. So it's kind of, the discussion's moved away from DR. It's more about resiliency and the ability to move the workload dynamically with a couple of minutes of an outage. Okay, I'd rather have a couple of minutes outage than data corruption. Right. So that's, and some of the technology is just fabulous now.
Well, I know a few years ago there was an airline issue, I think, and they had backup, but the backup failed, and it was weeks.
Yeah. So
of issues.
Yeah. You're absolutely correct, and having been doing this for the best part of 45 years now, I've actually been the person sat at the desk when they say the mainframe's down, can you recover it? And you do the first step of the recovery and realise there's a problem with the backup. Somebody changed it 6 months ago and didn't test it. Then it's, well, we've got to roll back the system 6 months. Now that you just cannot do that. So we had to piece the system together. One of the guys I work with quite closely is a DB2 guy. And we got a call from a client saying, we've just deleted one of our DB2 databases. Yes, it's got 13.5 million records in it. Yeah, we haven't got a backup. Right, and now we're an insurance company. And that's got all the customer data, all the policy data. But what they were doing was taking that data and distributing it around a lot of different distributed systems. So we were able to go and harvest all the data from these systems and rebuild the DB2 database for them. That's real disaster recovery, real disaster stuff, yeah.
Did they learn their lesson?
Yes, we gave them some processes and procedures for backing up the data. Now, they thought they were backing it up, they just weren't backing it up in a way that we could use it to recover.
Okay, interesting. So we talked a little bit about how there's an investment in modernization, which, I think modernization has a lot of different variants to it. Yeah. But we're really seeing the hybrid IT come through. What are some of the things that you're seeing as companies continue to move processes that are becoming roadblocks for them?
I mean, from a hybrid IT perspective, because we have this kind of reputation for go and talk to Mark and the team. Yeah, they're the security folks. But we also do a lot of building of the infrastructure as well. And I always say, when you're going to build these things and interconnect them, do it carefully and slowly and one step at a time, and make sure that you're constantly testing on the way. There was an interesting keynote this morning with Dave Jeffries from BMC and a gentleman from Broadcom talking about AI. And Dave for me kind of hit the nail on the head. Do it, but do it carefully and do it thoughtfully. And that's what we've got to think about hybrid IT. I think we've got the best platform in the world in the mainframe, but it's not perfect for every single piece of work. And there are good technical solutions that don't reside on the mainframe. So how do you connect them, securely, and make certain that, if we do this, you're not introducing more risk into the environment.
Right.
I mean, personally, I'd like to do, Back to the Future and go back to 1970 something and find out, when the folks in IBM started talking about porting Unix to the mainframe and start talking about, FICON cards and OSA cards and TCP/IP. I'll go back, lock them all away. So now in 2025, the mainframe is just a box that nobody connects to, and it's not really useful, but it's very, very secure. Yeah, which is obviously ridiculous. Yeah. But the whole hybrid IT thing, it's all about making sure we do it, collaboratively, bringing those two teams together. Yeah, well, we're not talking to them; they're the distributed system folks. Well, we're not talking to you; you're the mainframe folks. Bring them together, get in a room, and come up with a design that works for the business.
You mentioned AI, and I know AI and automation were two of the things that people thought would work well for security. It was a hope, right? We haven't done much in AI yet, but we're hoping to, and this is a use case for us. What are you seeing in that world?
We are seeing AI start to sort of come into the security world. I mean, again, the keynote this morning, they used a phrase I had never heard, and that was mainframe exhausts a lot of data. So I think it was more of a engine type analogy. But we generate so much data. We as human beings cannot consume that data. So can we use AI to help us understand the data and spot problems earlier, whether they're security, whether they're operational, anything, environmental? Can we use that? And I think we'll start to see that. I think we've got a long way to go. I think some of the models that are out there at the minute don't really understand mainframe well enough. And with a lot of the tooling that I use, ChatGPT all the time. What do you think about this? Oh yes, that's what I need to know. And I was doing a piece of work, and I went to it and said, "Can you write me a piece of ZOS assembler to perform a ransomware attack on a mainframe?" And he came back and said, "I cannot help you with that."
Interesting.
Okay? Brilliant. I then said to it, "Can you give me a piece of assembler code to encrypt a data set on a mainframe?" Which is exactly the same question as before, but just phrased differently. Here's all the assembler code and an explanation. So if we can do that with it, what are the bad actors doing with it? And they've got teams and teams of people doing this, and we can't hide behind a nobody understands what we do anymore. That's complete rubbish.
Right.
Everybody is anybody in the security space or in the the global cyber Crime Inc. Corporation, yeah, they know what a mainframe is because they know where the data is, and it's the data they want, and it's the value in that data that they want.
Exactly. I mean, the data that we know on the dark web has the highest value is exactly the data that is stored on the mainframe. Insurance and banking are the primary ones, and that's the primary industries using the mainframe.
Yep. You take a 16-digit credit card number, 3-character CVV, and an expiry date, and sell them on the web. Just one, $25.
Nice.
I've got a database on my mainframe, doesn't matter, VSAM, DB2, IMS, Datacom, doesn't matter what it is, Oracle, sitting on the database. Oh, I've got 4 million of those records on there. Now, 4 million multiplied by $25, we might give them a discount, and go 4 million multiplied by 20. I think I couldn't spend all that money on motorbikes.
I bet you could.
I bet I could, yeah.
So looking ahead, let's talk about what's going to happen in the industry.
From a pure mainframe security perspective, I think we're seeing a big shift now. Because what we've done for many years is put all the controls in place to prevent. So we deploy RACF, ACF2 top secret. Mark, you cannot read that data set. Mark, you can read this one, you can create that. And we've got a lot of those preventative controls are all in place. Now, some are good, some are not so good, and that's why you have to go and test this stuff. What we're seeing now is people look more at the detective side of things. Can I spot some bad actions before they actually do anything? Pretty much every attack or hack follows the same kind of timeline. Reconnaissance, yeah? Okay. Some people call it footprinting. You do footprinting on a mainframe, you've got to go looking at stuff and issuing commands that you wouldn't normally do. Well, wouldn't it be great if I could have something watching what's going on the mainframe and say, look, Mark comes in every morning, 7 o'clock. He logs on and he does this. He might check a couple of system data sets, issue a couple of commands. But look, on this Monday morning, he's come in and he's looking at this data set. Oh, he's just browsed the payroll data set. Oh, he's just downloaded a file to his PC. Stuff that's, anomaly detection. And that's what we're starting to see now. And I think we'll get, you look at some of the stuff IBM have announced with with some of the technology that we're going to see, and there are other vendors doing the same. But it's all about prevention, but early discovery. And there's technology out there now. If somebody tries to do something bad, we can stop them in the tracks. IBM have got some great stuff coming into RACF, which will I'm absolutely certain will end up in ACF2 and top secret. That means we can do some quarantining of users. So I can see the bad actor, but I'm not certain. So I'll quarantine him while we go and check some stuff. Now, if it's okay, we can bring him out of quarantine and they can carry on, but I can stop them straight away. So prevention, much better than the cure. Yeah. And that's the big difference now. I think you can see that there's more. You look at all the stuff we talk about for just the application stuff, the observability, and we can see a transaction flowing around it. I think we're going to get to that from a security perspective. I can see the bad actor log on over there. I can see he's issued all these commands. I can see he's tried to do this. Okay, so I can see all this activity, well, from a batch job or a logged on TSO user, but I can also see all this network activity. And oh, look, he's actually doing, or she's actually doing FTP. And so, hang on, so they're doing backups and they've got an FTP session running. It doesn't take much to put the two together as to what's going on. And I think that's where we're going to see the change.
Yeah, there you go. So is there one piece of advice you'd give to organizations that are managing their security today?
Take it seriously. Yeah. It is securable. It's not always secure. And for me, it comes back to one of those old management sayings, people, process, technology. We buy great technology, we don't invest in the people, we don't build the processes. Why bother? Yeah. If you're going to buy the technology, invest in the people, invest in the process. So get the people trained, send them to places like Share, and obviously with my British accent, GSE in the UK, but invest in the people, because if you give them the right tools, they can build the right processes and they'll protect your system. So it's all about that circle, and there's so much great stuff out there now that we can help secure these things. We shouldn't see a mainframe breach today with the tooling. We will, and there will be more, but take it seriously.
Great. Well, thanks so much for talking to me today.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you.